I'd like to introduce someone who's probably been doing, of those of us on YouTube and other streaming platforms, probably doing the most work on this topic. So I got to give her kudos for that. And you may know her as Savage Joy. She hosts the Postmortem Breakdown. But please welcome Joy Marie Mann. Hello.
Hello, and thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for joining me. You've been doing excellent work on this topic, and as with the Dakota Access Pipeline, it's so important to have these people that keep digging into these topics even after your mainstream media wants to ignore them, your government wants to say we're done with that, and yet the harm, the lives impacted, those type of things keep going on, and it's important that people like you are still bringing us the reality. But you have kind of breaking news on this front. It's not just a repeat of the kind of initial story of this. But I guess we should start with that. So let's start with if you can just remind everybody how this all began and what happened in East Palestine.
Yeah, so, and I do want to thank you from the residents. They are super appreciative. You're having me on to do this. So how this started is February 3rd, over 8 months ago. 8 months ago. The train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, and it had all kinds of fun chemicals on it. One of my friends who's a resident saw a burning train car go past her front lawn. There were explosives. They also did things to the explosion that weren't necessary, that created even more toxins. Over 8 months in, it is still an absolute clusterfuck. It's bad. I have gone twice. I've traveled there to bring mutual aid. So, U-Hauls of bottled water and groceries and clothes and diapers. And these people have nothing. Like, to give you an idea, before the train derailment, their median income was $27,000 for a 4-person household.
Was that 27,000? And I just looked up the other day, the average American household is, I believe, 70,000 a year.
Wow. I wish I was average.
Yeah. No. And so these people are struggling. How many of them left town? Because I know that's not easy for a lot of people without a lot of money, but did many of them leave?
Not many, to be honest. People seem to think, because they follow, the news and the Biden's great, narrative, people seem to think that Norfolk Southern is taking care of them. Not the case. There's a gentleman who is literally at ground zero, and he has not even been given a hotel. He tried to go into his home and was threatened with arrest because it's just way too toxic. So they won't let him in, but they won't even give him a hotel. There are people.
So they've roped off areas of town that people can't go back to their homes.
That's the only one I know of.
Oh, okay.
That is the only one, because everyone else is like a couple hundred feet, so that's not considered ground zero. So yeah, they're still allowed home. Even within the 1 mile radius, a lot of people have stayed. I mean, these people, and that 27,000 was pre the derailment. So a lot of these people lost their job. They have nothing, and they're counting on, people, activists like myself, and honestly their own community to help each other, because they just don't have anything. And these people are so sick. I cannot explain enough how sick they are. But when it's a hostage situation, you stay here and get more sick, or you go live in your car. I mean, so people like to think, oh, Norfolk Southern is giving them places to live. Yeah, no, Norfolk Southern is saying they are. Um, and then they make the residents pay for things out of pocket and then beg to be reimbursed. And then when they go to the place, they are shamed. And why would you need this reimbursed? Why would you buy this? Like, they don't let them buy groceries. Um, you know, they, one guy, he had the only room they had in the hotel had um like two beds, and he's by himself. He had to pay for it by himself. It was excess. So
Wow.
they, there's all these things that are going on behind the scenes that they're not talking about in the news. These people are suffering so bad every day, over eight
And
months in.
And I once saw, I don't remember the math, but someone did the math of how much it would cost Norfolk Southern. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah,
How much it would cost them to buy out every single resident around that area. Basically, say we're going to buy your house above, at or above market price, so you can have the money to move somewhere else, and it would be, a few weeks or something of Norfolk Southern's income. They could easily buy all these people out, do right by them. I mean, they're already it's already destroying someone's life, so it's not like they've
yeah.
fixed it. But it's far better to say, "Hey, we're going to pay you top dollar for your house and let you go and buy somewhere safer." You know.
Right. And the interesting thing is now what they're doing is they're going up to scabs, essentially, complete like people that just don't care about their community. This one guy in blast zone, ground zero, probably, well, less than a mile for sure. Norfolk Southern just purchased his house that is worth like $87,000. They just gave him $500,000 for it. Why? He's testifying on their behalf at the next hearing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's public record. So, and then there's a lot of people in this town driving around really expensive sports cars now. Like, I mean, really expensive sports cars. Because the second time I went, I was like, what's up with all these cars in there? I was like, are these residents? And the residents were like, yeah, they're residents. They're unemployed and on food stamps. They're residents. So there are all these shady things going on. And yeah, I mean, you are right. And Norfolk Southern is literally paying more money to not help them. It's insanity.
um, and I also remember that the train workers union, whatever the name of it is, came forward and said that the failure that caused the derailment is they called it a 19th century failure, meaning these trains don't even have basic. They basically are functioning in the way the trains in the 1800s functioned, and they don't have advanced technology on them because the railroad companies don't even want to put the right safety precautions on.
Right. And 99% of people are going to say, well, Trump's the one that pulled that rule away. Cool. He's not in office. Did you care when he did it? No. Did you bat an eye? No. He's not in office. Biden has the ability to, he's had um a declaration of disaster request by multiple representatives, including Ohio ones. And we have petitions by the thousands of signatures. He has had this opportunity to sign this. What would it do? It would bring in FEMA. They need water because they're still bathing in it. Literally. Like, these people are, you know, we brought like pallets of water, and there are people bathing in it still over 8 months in. And you're telling me you can't send in FEMA to give these people water and food at the very least? Like, he doesn't care. So that's the disaster declaration. He came out about 2 weeks ago with this um garbage executive order that's like, we're going to start doing this, that, and the other thing. And the only good thing it did mention was cleaning houses, which people have been begging for since day one. And then one of my resident friends said, do you know what that entails? I was like, oh God, what? Literally people coming in and scrubbing the walls. That's it. No fumigation, no, I mean, like, literally, I could do that myself.
Right.
I'll do that myself. Like, a
Right.
rag and scrubbing walls. I mean, all their walls are, like, essentially black at this point because of, toxins, but that,
Well, and yeah, certain kinds of toxic chemicals you can't just easily scrub off with a rag.
right, like,
It's,
they're
yeah,
already in the walls, like,
you need like pressure washing and shit.
mhm. I
Okay.
really don't think it's livable, even any way they clean it. I don't think it's feasible.
So let's get to this kind of breaking news you have. So set it up for people, and I'm hoping it plays appropriately. It's audio that you took, and and set up who you're speaking to, and also I believe it starts with the response to a question. So let people know what question you asked.
Right, right. So, the guy's name is Mark Durno. He works for the national my mind went blank. National Security. And he is a lead in the East Palestine EPA. So basically, an environmental terrorist who makes excuses. And on a Sunday night, I got his phone number and I'm like texting him and I'm like, hey, my name is Joy Marie Mann. I'm in from Harrisburg visiting again. I was bringing mutual aid to the people again. And since I'm here, I'd love to meet with you tomorrow. Do you have a moment? Oh, yeah, sure. I'd love to meet with you. How about 3 o'clock? Okay, cool. So I text him again in the morning. Are you still down with meeting? Then I get an email from his assistant and it says, I need to know the questions you're going to be asking him. I don't play that shit. No, no. Why do you need to know? Fuck that.
Right. Right.
No, this is not some kind of political bullshit. So I said, I've never done that in 6 years of doing this. So I'm not going to. My discussions are very organic, so I'm going to go that way. Then they started ghosting me. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let's go. So we just went in his office. We just went there and we're like, hi, yes, I was supposed to meet with Mark Durno today and he ghosted me. So what's up with that? And we just have the camera crew, crew meaning my phone, and my friend with the tripod, and we go in there and we just kind of let loose. Then he said, I'd prefer you turn the video off, which he had agreed to. But I did turn the video off. I just kept the sound going.
Yeah.
And it's 91 minutes of him saying reprehensible things, just so disgusting, that he has never said publicly or in front of other residents. The clip that we're going to be sharing here is I was talking to him about 1881A, which Lee is familiar with. It started in
Yeah.
Libby, Montana, when there was asbestos in the air. They gave them Medicare for life immediately. So East
Yeah.
Palestine,
Basically, it's a way that the federal government can give health care to everybody in an area, by with a signing with a swipe of a pen,
yes,
uh, for free. And if there's an environmental impact, so obviously East Palestine would be the prime example for something like that.
absolutely. And it's in the Obamacare Act, which I brought up. I thought he was, loved someone like that. So I brought it up. He still didn't care. So that's where this clip comes from. This is my response to that. And then his response to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna hopefully this plays correctly. I'm gonna try and play this. It is audio, folks, and I know it's a little hard to hear, but we will clarify what was said after we play it. Oh, I was afraid of this. So for some odd reason, it's not showing when I try and share it. Let me try again, though. Well, since it is just audio, though, I suppose I can just play it and we just won't see this screen capture. But
Yeah, it's just like a promo type thing I put on it.
yeah, okay. So I'm gonna play it without and you know, again, I'm sorry, folks, if this doesn't sound that clear, but we will. It's 90 seconds. Yeah, 90 seconds long, and we will clarify everything afterwards. So.
What is it going to take?
So, you know, the answer to that question is about my favorite.
I mean, if you have compassion, what would you like to see happen?
I want to see this workshop come to play. I want to see if we can make a connection between the environmental issues and the health issues that we're being told about. I'm gonna keep coming back to the unbelievable amount of data that we've collected. And again, I enjoy this. It makes it so hard.
When does it come to the point?
We need the health experts to advise. That's
give people health care. Doctors are health experts. These people need, I mean, when you're having, rashes and little kids are bleeding when they pee, and, people are bleeding out their ears and people's teeth are falling out, and, people are being told they'll probably never have kids, and all of these, they can't even see a doctor. That is traumatizing all over. It is exacerbating every single thing they are going through. That is violent. It is inhumane. So who do we talk to? Because these residents have talked to everyone.
Okay, so go over what he said to you, both in that clip, but in general, what did he say that he does not say in public?
So I said, what would you like to see happen? And he said, that's above my pay grade. Essentially, you have no empathy.
I'm not allowed to say what I would like to see. Yeah.
Right. And then I went on. I did quiet one of the things. One of the people in the room was a 4-year-old, my buddy Eddie. And I stated, trigger warning, but I said little boys are peeing out blood. They are getting rashes. They are literally hemorrhaging out of their butt. Like, these things are happening. A 16-year-old girl just told, sorry, you're likely not having kids. There's a gentleman who's a resident who just had a double mastectomy because of a rare form of breast cancer. He's a man.
And this guy's response, the representative of the EPA there says, "Oh, well, we've done." He said something about the breathtaking amount of data we've gotten. Like, they're still trying to find data. It's like when people are bleeding out their ears, you don't need data, you need help.
Absolutely. And throughout, I shared with him the first time I went to East Palestine, I lost a tooth. And I wasn't really sure what it was for, but it was so weird. I got home and my tooth just split in two. And thankfully, it's not a noticeable one. But I was like, oh my God, there was nothing wrong with it. What happened? And the next time I went to East Palestine, I was like, when I got downtown, I was like, man, my teeth are starting to hurt. And they said, oh, yeah, everyone's been losing their teeth. I was like, oh my God. that's why it happened, because I was so confused. I got violently ill, vomiting, my legs went numb, um, just lightheaded. My face just lost all feeling. It was so terrifying. I even hallucinated twice. Um, it it is, and I mean, I'm just visiting. Now I go home and a day or two later, I'm fine. I think,
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
But, these people, you think, well, they go away and, they're used to it or what have you. No, every time they go into those areas, they are constantly sick, even
Wow.
just driving through, windows up. So I
Wow.
was trying to explain some of that to them, to him, and vinyl chloride testing, $700 out of pocket. Why can't we give the C word tests for free? And these people have to pay $700 for these tests out of pocket. And then they're like, okay, we have the results, but we don't know what to do now. So they're not helping. They opened a so-called free clinic. It was nothing but PCPs. There were no specialists, there were no nothing. And
Really?
hired by Norfolk Southern, and said things like, well, we don't know what kind of drugs you've done, so these blood tests may not be that accurate. That's how they were being treated. So
Wow.
when it comes to health alone, I mean, people are ending up in the hospital. People are being diagnosed with cancer. Several
So,
people have passed away. And the gentleman who had the double mastectomy and two other people have been diagnosed with cancer. None in their family. None. No symptoms
and
before.
it's so horrifying that this could happen in one of the richest countries in the world. I mean, really the
Mhm.
richest country in the world. And not only these people not taken care of, but we're not given the truth. We're not given the truth about what's going on there, what continues to go on there. Uh, truly, truly horrific. And, like I say, I'm no longer surprised by the way this government, our government, both Democrat and Republican, will behave. But I continue to be disgusted. So you may lose your ability to be shocked, but disgusted, absolutely not. So you're going to reveal more of these clips. Tell everybody how to watch and listen for those. And the more, you've got plenty more information than you've had time to reveal here. So let them know how to get that.
Yeah, so you can find my channel on YouTube and Rockfin, Savage Joy Marie Man, at 5 p.m. Eastern tonight after Lee's show. I'm going to release the entire 91-minute conversation in full. So you can hear a lot more about how they are in charge of, they are higher ranking than Norfolk Southern, but they're negotiating with them. Or the fact that residents are probably testing positive to these chemicals because they're eating meat and peppers, and they should try taking vitamins. Yeah, there's so put it this way. East Palestine residents are using some of this info, some of this tape in their lawsuits.
Good,
It's powerful.
good.
It's hardcore.
Well done. Well, keep it up. And thank you for joining us. And thank you for sticking on this story while so many others have moved on.
Absolutely. And if you guys have the ability, if you could go to Joy Marie Man, buy me a coffee. I am trying to raise money to get back to East Palestine and bring more mutual aid for the third time. Because
What is that again? Is it buymeacoffee.com?
yeah, yeah. And if they type in Joy Marie Man, it should come right up.
Okay. Thank you again. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much, Lee. Much love. Great work.